Hi there, my name is Randy, and I've had these implants for 2.5 years now. And I wanted to give you some of the uh, good things that go along with them, and as well as some of the downsides. One thing that I'm sure you're interested in getting more information about and understanding is the price, but we'll get back to that in just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the bad because we all know that's what everyone wants to know about. So one of the bads that I had for me was I had gone for nearly 10 years and did not have any teeth. I had fought with dentures that didn't stay in. And when I had my implant surgery, and then 24 hours later, I'm getting my permanent new smile, I had never had anything so solid in my mouth in a very long time. So the bad for that was trying to sort out and adjust and just get mentally prepared that something was going on in there. For me, it wasn't no so much on like the pain, anything like that. Sure, there are things that go with that, but it was physically having structure in my mouth that had not been there. So that was a bad in the beginning, but clearly I adjusted really well after that. So I want to go on and talk about a good number one. And for me, that good number one was what brought me to that point where I said to Nuvia, I've got to do this. I've got to take this step and change my life. And I literally had found myself in the worst, deepest, darkest spot of my entire life. I didn't know how to live. I had spent my life being a singer, being on stage, doing all of these things, the class clown. And when I had lost all of my teeth, suddenly there was nothing left. And then I continued to just fall apart. Fast forward almost 10 years later, everything's continuing to get worse. You know, my marriage is falling apart, everything. I didn't know who I was. I, it was hard. I didn't leave the house. I lived on delivery of groceries and everything. And it was almost like I woke up one day and I knew that it's either today or I don't know if there's going to be another day. And it was a pretty powerful moment. And strangely enough, I ended up running into Nuvia a couple of days later. And when I called and got in, I was just in autopilot, not expecting anything to be real because I didn't know how to sing. I couldn't eat. I was getting very unhealthy because I couldn't chew. And all this had been going on for so many years that there was just nothing, there was nothing left. And I honestly didn't even feel that I was that I was like a human being anymore. Wasn't even just existing. I would have taken that. But that's when I knew something had to give because I didn't know if I had it much left in me. And I don't mean that in a way that I would do anything or anything like that. I just didn't have anything left in me. I had no energy, no desire, no life left. And well, I don't even know who that person is. And I'm 2.5 years later, and sometimes when I talk about it, as I am right now, it catches me off guard because I can't realize how deep of a spot I was. And it took that for me to realize that I needed this to get my life back. All right, so bad number two. This one sometimes can make you question things when you're in the very beginning stages of getting your new dental implants in 24 hours with Nuvia. And one thing to remember is we do get our permanent smiles in 24 hours. So, yes, gums are swollen. All kinds of things are still going. Things have to heal. So, as time goes on, my gums would just continually, the swelling would go down, it would decrease. And as they did, then you'll get some gaps that will form and, above and beyond. I have a full mouth, so I have upper and lower arches. And as you're healing, that gap continues because it goes down. And that's actually a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's something that you're thrown off a little bit because you're like, what the heck's going on? Is this going to bother me? Is all of my food going to get in there? Why am I struggling if I am with an S or a G or whatever it may be? Because everything's moving and shifting, which is my point. So the beauty about it is as that continues to go, you're adjusting. And then when you go in, Nuvia just takes care of you on your 4-month appointment where you're going in and generally, like most of us, we get cleared and we get to go off and eat anything and everything that we want and live life again. They go in and they do all of that and they put all of permanent filling in and fill in gaps and all of those different things, and then tighten everything down. So there's not really necessarily a huge gap, but it's there. So instead of it being a bad thing, you have to stop and realize as you're sitting there and you're getting ready to brush your teeth in the morning, if I did not have this gap, would I be able to clean properly and have good hygiene and make sure that I'm taking care of this investment not only in a better life and in a different life, but in my health, because I'm doing this to be healthy. So something that feels like it's a bad, and it certainly has its challenges because there are things to go with it, but it's just the new you. A water pick will take care of anything. So it's just an adjustment. It's really not all that bad. So my good number 2 is the fact that Nuvia brilliantly can provide me and did with my permanent teeth in 24 hours. Like seriously, that's pretty crazy. So I went from having no teeth, none, zero, none, could not keep dentures in, nothing for almost 10 years. I go in, I have surgery. They placed my implants. 24 hours later, right here, same things I've got 2.5 years later, right here, the same ones. And I I don't know what else you can say about that because it's like some sorcery magic, like crazy invention, all of the above, because it is, and that's the thing. I just put my faith in those that, are knowledgeable in the field and trusted in the process. And again, 24 hours later, it's a no-brainer. So the third bad thing for me was that when it came to cost, it was really, really difficult to figure out, okay, what the heck is this going to cost me? I had options. Through the VA, I could have Snap-on dentures or, traditional dentures all for free. That's all easy, but I didn't want that. I wanted something more permanent. So I went and I went through several different consultations with, these different folks, different companies. And what I was finding was because they were telling me I had such a difficult case that there were potential options down the road where I could incur other prices. I could have a charge. They may have to do this. And I'm generalizing it, but that's pretty much what it was across the board. So someone coming from someone who is on a fixed income like I am, I can't live like that because it's already tough as it is, and you've got to make sure you budget things out. And I was okay with that and could do that, but I couldn't have a giant price tag coming at me along the road as I'm going through this, which by the way would have taken for me, everyone else was going to be 10 months to a year and a half. So to have that, all of that there was crazy. The good thing is Nuvia has a cost guide. Put one right there in the links for you. You'll be able to look that up. But what's great is when you go in, you have your consultation, you get everything, it's all inclusive. Bam, done, out the door. There's no, well, if we run into this issue later, or if it's whatever, it's okay. It's irrelevant. If you get home and you've been home for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or all three of them, and you're just not feeling right, you call, you come in, they check you out, even if it's just a pat you on the back and say, hey, Randy, it's okay. There's no cost. So again, check out that cost guide because it will do wonders for you in helping you sort things out and get yourself ready and budgeting and looking at what you may or may not be up against. So my good number 3 was my extra personal special good. So prior to going to Nuvia and starting this new journey and all of this happiness and confidence that I have, I spent almost 10 years, as I had said before, and fighting with dentures. I could not even speak properly. Most of my words would not come out. I couldn't form my letters properly. I whistled. I don't really know what all was going on there. So not only could I not just speak normally in everyday conversation, I'd spent my life as an entertainer and as a singer, and I couldn't even form words properly to speak, let alone sing. So that was gone. I thought it was gone forever. And over 10 years later, after I get through my healing, and actually, while I'm still healing, I have to tell myself, I took them out for a trial run on my 2-month and snuck into karaoke and sang for the very first time in my life. And I walked out of there a complete new person because I can sing again. I sing in a chorus. That's what I do. I travel around. I sing at large events. I'm on television. I'm all of this, and all of that was something that I thought I'd lost from my entire life, and it was so far removed that I forgot how nice and how special it was. So now that I can speak and I can sing and I'm not embarrassed and I've got confidence and I love this life and I'm alive again, that is definitely by far my good number 3 because it's all the good wrapped up in one. So I wanted to take the time and do this video because I honestly just really want to do anything I can to inspire others to look into options and check things out with Nuvia, because this 24-hour teeth in a day business is it's just crazy because it's so wonderful. And as you can see, I get stuck sometimes trying to think of things to say because there really are no words that fill that. And I want to be able to hopefully let someone hear my story and my journey and my experience. And maybe some things will relate, maybe some things won't. But in the end, we're all here looking for something. And that's a new life, and to have our lives back and our confidence back. And that's what we get with this here. So I just really hope that I can let others know, especially those who come into it and are concerned with singing or speaking or, are they going to sound this way? Are they going to look this way? Those things fall right down my alley because I'm living proof that I am 2.5 years later living my best life, not being stopped in any way, shape, or form. You can't keep me off of a stage in front of an audience now. And I don't think I really had a true conversation for about 4 or 5 years in public. So I just want to hopefully inspire others to go look into what could possibly happen if they would just invest in themselves, because it's so very worth it.